Switch to T-Mobile and we'll pay off your phone and upgrade you to one of the latest 5G phones free.
Colbert's new with the legendary Carol Burnett, tonight on CBS.
CBS next Tuesday.
4 dead cops.
They were there to exchange a prisoner.
Chechen gang. He's a hitman.
It's a declaration of war.
CBS Tuesday is FBI night.
When you see them, kill them all.
New episodes next.
Warning, what you are about to see could scar you for life.
Ew.
PDA, parental display of affection.
Ew. Whoa.
Last man standing.
"19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Shop our huge selection of Amish-crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and custom.
The search for the 6 unaccounted for after the bridge collapse in Maryland is called off. Tonight, why the U.S. Coast Guard is suspending the effort. Plus, increasing education opportunities to fulfill jobs in the growing electric vehicle battery industry. The initiative announced today by Governor Whitmer. And the clock is ticking for Congress to sign a new major infrastructure package known as the Farm Bill. The latest from Washington and what the bill could include. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
It is noticeably much colder tonight than this afternoon, Air. I know we're also all a bit worried about our drive home tonight since it has been raining as well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain for the central locations, and then that snow is starting to mix in here, especially in Marquette County. And then we've got snow over to the west, rain over to the far east. But as Sarah mentioned, it could be a slick commute this evening, even into your Wednesday morning, although the National Weather Service has issued a statement that should end at midnight. Into our Wednesday morning, so midnight Wednesday morning. But heads up, those temperatures are rapidly dropping. We're expecting them to be about 14 to 25 this evening, and then those wet spots with all that snow melt and the rain and snow that we've had today, those are expected to freeze on over. Some of us are still fairly warm, but I'll go over all of that as well as the snow timings and Easter outlook after the break.
Thanks, Air. New at 11, 24 National Transportation Safety Board members are on site investigating that shocking collapse of one of Baltimore's critical bridges after a cargo ship hit it early this morning. Rescuers spent the day desperately searching for 6 construction workers who were presumed dead by their employer. Ryan Hughes has the latest from Baltimore.
The U.S. Coast Guard announced it suspended its search Tuesday evening, saying it doesn't think more survivors of the Baltimore bridge collapse would be found.
At this point, we do not believe that we're going to find any of these individuals still alive.
Earlier, FBI divers using robotic cameras were searching for 6 construction workers who were on the bridge when it collapsed early Tuesday. 2 survivors were pulled from the chilly water.
The whole bridge just fell down.
Video shows the moment the massive container ship slammed into a support column of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, sending a large portion of the structure into the Patapsco River. Sources tell CBS News multiple alarms rang out on the ship after several failed attempts to fix the ship's loss of propulsion. The pilot issued a mayday call, giving officials time to stop traffic on the bridge.
They undoubtedly saved innumerable amount of lives.
The NTSB is leading the investigation. They want to examine the voyage data recorder.
It will be critical. It's a critical piece of our investigation, which is why we have a recorders team here.
The Singapore-flagged vessel was headed from Baltimore to Sri Lanka, going 9 miles per hour. None of the crew was hurt. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg thanked first responders, including those searching the water, and said the region faces a long road ahead.
But we will rebuild together.
The Port of Baltimore is one of the busiest in the country. It's closed for now and won't reopen until authorities remove all the debris and re-dredge the river.
President Biden said the federal government will, quote, move heaven and earth to reopen the port and pay for the rebuilding. Here at home, the Copperwood Mine Project in Gogebic County is getting $50 million from the Michigan Strategic Fund for site preparations. The Strategic Fund Board unanimously approved the Strategic Site Readiness Program performance-based grant today. The funds will help address site improvement costs, including transportation, power, and telecommunications improvements. The company's CEO of Highland Copper says they expect to break ground in 2025. The project is expected to generate a total capital investment of $425 million and create 380 jobs in the western UP. The U.S. Department of Energy has launched a training program aiming to help build a highly skilled workforce for manufacturing plants that are being built across the country. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more on the role our state has played in developing the Battery Workforce Initiative, now launching around the U.S.
The electric vehicle battery manufacturing industry has been growing rapidly. In 2019, there were just 3 factories nationwide. Now, 30 plants are operational or under construction, 6 of those right here in Michigan.
We know that rapid advancements in technologies and processes place new demands on Americans' workforce, and we have never shied away from those challenges.
U.S. Secretary of Energy Jennifer Granholm visited Lansing today, along with the Secretary of Labor and UAW President Shawn Fain, to announce the pilot of a training program called the Battery Workforce Initiative, which is a part of President Biden's Investing in America agenda.
You can provide incentives for employers to come, but if you're not making sure that you have a workforce that's trained for those jobs, those future-facing jobs, then you will have missed the whole pie.
Governor Whitmer explained that the program's goals are to bring battery makers together to cooperate on occupational training, engage experts to participate in industry-specific workshops to improve decision-making, and to translate industry needs into on-the-job requirements that will be used to create the basis for training materials and guides.
We can better prepare Michigan workers and employers to lead the future of battery manufacturing. As everyone knows, the auto industry is going through a transition.
Secretary Granholm explained that the United States is expected to double its manufacturing capacity by 2025. She says to keep up with demand, the United States needs a strong supply chain and a skilled workforce to produce state-of-the-art, reliable EV and grid storage batteries, which starts with the Battery Workforce Initiative. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
In Washington, the topic of abortion is back in our highest court. Today, the Supreme Court heard arguments in an abortion pill case that could have a huge impact on the FDA's regulatory authority, but also on access to the pill, even in states where abortion is legal. People on both sides of the issue protested outside of the court this morning. The case centers on the abortion pill mifepristone. Justices heard arguments on the Biden administration's appeal of a lower court rulings that restricted access to the pill, including its availability by mail. In the hearing, both conservative and liberal-leaning justices seemed skeptical if the group that brought the lawsuit had standing to even bring the claim. We expect justices to release their decision on this case in the summer. Just about once every 5 years, Congress has to develop the legal framework for agricultural and food policy. It's known as the Farm Bill. The current Farm Bill was signed in 2018 and extended through the 2024 fiscal year. Now the clock is ticking for a new Farm Bill. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon reports on what we can expect.
It's once again time for U.S. lawmakers to finalize the Farm Bill, an omnibus multi-year law that covers an array of agricultural and food programs. Since the 1930s, Congress has enacted 18 farm bills. They've traditionally focused on farm commodity program support for things like corn, soybeans, wheat, cotton, and dairy. In 1973, they became much more expansive.
Well, the Farm Bill is incredibly important, right? It's about food security and national security. It is about jobs, economic impact, actually generating tax revenue at all levels of government through farms, business, agribusinesses.
Representative Glenn Thompson serves as chairman of the House Committee on Agriculture and has been an active member of the committee for over a decade. He says the Farm Bill provides a special opportunity for everyone to get involved.
I brought Republicans to the table, Democrats to the table, and the people of rural America and American agriculture to the table.
It's essential that it be bipartisan to get it done.
This is the third Farm Bill Michigan Michigan Senator Debbie Stabenow has led in her position as chair of the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. In addition to food security and rural development, Stabenow is focused on conservation provisions in this farm bill,
which go hand in hand with what I'm doing on the Great Lakes, because the conservation programs support our farmers to be managing land and water in the right way so that we are dealing with water quality and carbon pollution issues that are so critical.
Thompson says the farm bill is on a good path and is largely already written. He expects the committee to start reviewing final details and costs after Easter. Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break, plus growing our garden, how a Delta County community is hoping to make some improvements around town that will show some hometown pride. And later, Purple Day to raise awareness of the millions living with epilepsy. One woman shares her story. We're back in 2 minutes.
Shop our huge selection of Amish crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order with 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
Who will be there when the final whistle blows or the final votes have been cast? Will you? Start a career in the broadcasting industry. Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com.
First warning weather with Arian Stasek, weeknights at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Marquette.
And don't forget,
Need to get from point A to point B quickly, efficiently, safely? The Marquette County Transit Authority is your ticket to ride. Friendly drivers operate clean, blue and white buses throughout Marquette County 365 days a year. Seniors 60 plus ride free every Wednesday. For information about routes and tickets, click on marktran.com. We keep you moving. Marquette Transit.
1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12.
1 Adam 12?
1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12.
1 Adam 12, roger.
That's right. There's only one Adam 12.
I'll remember that.
5 days a week.
Adam 12, weekdays at 5 on MeTV 19.1. Now, WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasek.
Well, we're expecting a lot of the UP to be below freezing this evening. Looking farther to the east, Sault Ste. Marie just a little bit above with a temp of 34, but don't be surprised if it feels a lot colder because we've got winds pushing around into our Wednesday. Taking a look here at the past couple of hours, a mix in the middle of the UP, and then we've got snow showers along that Wisconsin border, and then rain further in the east, and that's kind of the story for tonight. As we take a look at current conditions, Munising having a lot of that mixture as well. They could be seeing about ½ an inch of rain and snow per hour at the moment. Hopefully things slow down a little bit there. As we look into tonight, we've got a flash freeze for the central locations. I'll show you that on the map here in just a moment because these temperatures are dropping very fast tonight. And then we've got the wind blowing in and all of that rain and snow melt that we've been experiencing the past couple of days. Well, it's likely to ice over. So be careful on your commutes tonight as well as tomorrow. Keep your eye on any area that's pink or purple because that's likely to have a very high freeze risk. This is 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning Eastern time, and then we'll have a brief break there over here on that Lake Michigan coastline. But then again, those freezing risks coming right back. And then just a reminder, as you might be traveling over bridges, remember those freeze over quickly because there is no insulation below them. It's just all that cold air and water busting on through below. Let's take a look at what we're expecting this evening into tomorrow for Houghton. 39 tonight, light snow. That snow is going to return in the early afternoon hours, but look at that temp around 9 a.m., 26 degrees. So it's definitely going to be cold out there. And then we do have the wind to contend with as well. So let's take a look at those lake effect snow showers that are going to be heavy over here on that northwest coast. Some of us will see some flurries here and there, but most of that activity saved for the Upper Peninsula. So you guys might be shoveling quite soon as we take a look into our Thursday evening there. So I mentioned that flash freeze. Here we go. Alger, Delta, Dickinson, Luce, Marquette, Menominee, and Schoolcraft counties. This goes until early Wednesday morning, midnight basically, but it could kick over into those early hours of the morning on Wednesday. As we saw, those temperatures are going to be quite cold. And then we've got winter weather advisories. This starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time, going until 8 a.m. from Houghton, Ontonagon, and Keweenaw counties. 4 to 8 inches expected. The heaviest snowfall, basically Mass City up to Copper Harbor, and then maybe 2 inches or less for everyone south and to the east. But it could be a little bit dicey out there. So I mentioned that gust continuing, and guess where it's going to be the breeziest? That's right, along that northwest coast, but not to be left out. St. Ignace could be a little bit breezy. Your 7-day outlook and Easter outlook coming up in 15.
Thanks, Erin. Roadways could start seeing the wear and tear from our recent weather, but officials say flood damage isn't the first thing on their worry list, actually. On a normal year of weather, Marquette Public Works says the brief snow and rainstorms cause overnight freezing that can disrupt road repairs. But this year, not only have the freeze-thaw cycles eroded potholes, but because there wasn't as much snow, leaves, garbage, and other debris have the entire season now to block storm drains and culverts.
A lot of the same places. If we can keep the water out of the road bed itself, and that it's going to last a lot longer. But once the water gets underneath the asphalt and that's where all the damage is occurring.
Marquette Public Works says if you do see any debris in your drains, it can be helpful to shovel it out to let the water run through. A Delta County community is raising money to make their home a more beautiful place to live. WZMQ's Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons has their story.
For the past year and a half, Grow Our Garden has been beautifying the village of Garden.
We started out simple with just putting a whimsical chair in the park, and then we decided to spruce up the town itself. And we began with flower baskets hanging from the poles, memorial flower boxes up and down the streets. We planted 20 flowering trees.
In preparation for the upcoming season, the group has set up this fundraising meter in the center of town, with a sunflower rising to the top of the stem as support comes in.
It was a good visual indicator of where we're going and what we need, and the sunflower idea just goes hand in hand with what we're feeling for Garden. It's bright and cheerful, and you can see it when you drive by.
Grow Our Garden aims to raise $1,500 for hanging flower baskets and ground planters. They also hope to raise additional funds for other projects around Garden.
We're going to try to plant at least 20 more trees, red buds and sherbet hydrangeas, because they bloom at different times of the year. We're trying to get a gazebo for the park to make it more inviting for the parents and the children, and it's just the beginning.
Group members say Grow Our Garden is just one way the community is developing and thriving.
We now have 2 eating establishments in Garden. We're having another one open up in springtime. You can even reflect it in people's yards. They're proud of this little village, and they should be, because it's a special place.
And they're thankful for the public support in growing their garden.
The whole project is to reflect to the outside world what Garden is to us and the people and the culture. We want to make this place bloom.
Donations for the flower meter can be made at First Bank or by contacting any Grow Our Garden member. Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Garden.
On an average year in the UP, the cold temperatures give many species the hint that it's time to migrate. However, wildlife experts say there was not much deer migration this year. Because of the lack of snow during the winter, there was a greater food supply and safe shelter for deer to stay in what are called deer ranges. DNR wildlife biologists say spring snowstorms can also impact deer's migrating habits, but the weather over the next month will dictate what the deer do next.
From like March 1 through the end of April, I would say it's possible to see migrating deer traveling from their winter to summer ranges. All of that is out the window this year. I don't really think you can go off of the normal year.
The DNR says because of the unusual winter season, it expects a favorable deer hunting season. Today, March 26th, is Purple Day, a global effort to raise awareness about epilepsy. About 50 million people around the world suffer from the condition, but it can often go undiagnosed. Bradley Blackburn has the story of one young woman who had a long journey to get vital treatment.
For nearly a decade, Ivy Hogan lived with a medical mystery. When she was just 17, she started experiencing episodes where she'd lose her vision. Some mornings she'd wake up with blood on her pillow from biting her tongue.
It would just hit. It would kind of creep in from the sides.
Her parents were alarmed, but she says her pediatrician diagnosed it as migraines and stress.
You never thought this was a seizure, though?
No. That was never on my radar.
She lived with the symptoms for years, through college and after she married her husband Jake. 4 years ago, in the middle of the night, he woke up to her clearly having a seizure.
I'm just so lucky that he was there.
She finally got the right diagnosis from Dr. Madeline Fields at Mount Sinai in New York. Hogan has a type of epilepsy that is triggered by hormones.
You can see these rhythms persisting.
Hogan's brain scans show how a seizure is an earthquake in the brain. But her story proves they come in many different forms, some very subtle.
The vast majority of seizures are not the classic, what you see on TV, sometimes called grand mal or tonic-clonic convulsions. It's often what brings people to medical attention, but is not typically how people present with seizures.
The diagnosis and correct medication have given Hogan her life without fear of seizures.
I feel like I'm glad that this happened to me because I know that I'm strong enough to deal with it.
And she wants others living with a mystery to keep asking for answers.
Hogan has now been seizure-free for nearly a year, and after her experience, she's decided to change careers and study to become a neurology nurse to give others with epilepsy the care that has made such a difference for her. Sports is on the way next, and Mike, you have some boys basketball updates?
A little bit. We will check on the Division III All-State basketball players for the boys in the UP, and the Red Wings, a big hockey game against the Washington Capitals. That and more next.
Tonight,
who's with me? Come on!
Colbert's New with the legendary Carol Burnett. Tonight on CBS.
In a sketch against time.
Hangman, and Handyman.
Yeah! Handyman, correct!
Stick figures.
This is a judgment-free zone, but this is a terrible hand. And this is just a stick figure, but it doesn't matter. It got the job done.
Will do just fine. Pictionary, weekdays at 9 on WZMQ CBS.
Help.
When you fall and can't get help,
Help.
you will lie on the floor for hours or days in constant, terrible anguish, which often results in a tragic outcome. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, whether at home,
I've fallen and I can't get up.
in the bathroom,
I've fallen in the shower.
or on the go.
Help! I'm in the park and I can't get up.
And batteries never need charging. Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-998-6449. That's 1-800-998-6449. Call now, 1-800-998-6449.
Who'll be there when there are voices that need to be heard? Who will be there when amazing rises up or a need for a warning comes falling down? Who will be our ears and our eyes? Will you? Start a career in the broadcasting industry. Whether it's on air or behind the scenes, there's a world of opportunities waiting for you. Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com.
Good evening, everyone. The Upper Peninsula has 3 players receiving recognition on this year's Associated Press Division III All-State Boys Basketball teams. We will tell you about Westpac and Mid-Peninsula Conference Player of the Year, Oscar Kangas. He is a member of the All-State First Team. He's from Iron Mountain. Copper Mountain Conference Player of the Year Levi Fromm of Jeffers is on the All-State second team, and Fromm is joined by Great Northern Conference first team member Tanner Therikoff of Menominee on that All-State second team. Congratulations to all three. In basketball tonight, Ferris State was excused from the NCAA Elite 8 tournament in Division II. Minnesota State made, 14 of 23 from three-point land, and the Mavericks defeated Ferris 98-70. Marquette's Veas Grazulos had 5 points for Ferris. Turning to hockey, the Red Wings are on the outside looking in right now when it comes to the NHL playoffs, playing a team that's just in front of them, and that is Washington. And Alex DeBrincat will get his 24th goal of the year, with the assist going to Jeff Petrie and JT Compher. That tied the game at 1, DeBrincat's first goal in 13 games. Power play, David Perron would get one here, and that would give the Red Wings a 2-1 lead. In the third period, Patrick Kane with his 17th. That would tie the game at 3. However, Washington wins this one in overtime by the score of 4-3. So not good news for the Red Wings there. The deadline for reserving tickets for the 52nd Annual Upper Peninsula Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet is Thursday, April 25th. The banquet is Saturday, May 11th at the Island and Resort Casino in Harris, beginning at 6 o'clock. Tickets are $40 for adults, $20 for students, and free for 5-year-olds and under. To help with seating this year, you are required to say which Hall of Fame member you will be representing at the banquet. To get your name on a list for tickets, we have names for you right here and phone numbers. Kathy Shamian will take care of the Western UP. Denny Grawl, a good chunk of the Southern UP. Don Gustafson is from the East End over in St. Ignace, so he'll get that section. Dan Hinch is from Iron River. And DJ Paquette take care of Alger County, maybe a bit of Banastique and Luce counties as well. They're your phone numbers. And again, it is August 25th, that deadline. Now, in case you don't remember, here are the 10 inductees for the banquet this year. Jill Wattoon Bodo of Kearney-Nato fame and Lake Superior State basketball, the late Shell Chapman of Marquette basketball, Harold Buddy of Dugan of Sault Ste. Marie, former NMU and St. Ignace basketball coach Doug Ingles, Karen Olson Flanagan of Marquette, along with Dave Whitey Horka of the Sioux, state champion football quarterback and former NMU football coach Mark Morana of Negaunee, basketball player and former college head coach Terry Smith of Crystal Falls, the late Candy Smutkus of Escanaba, and Fritz Wilson of Chancel and Menominee. Again, deadline is April 25th. The banquet is May 11th. Several Detroit and Michigan-related groups held a media day in downtown Detroit, marking 30 days away from the 2024 NFL Draft in the Motor City. Details were provided about the start of construction for the NFL Draft Theater and streets, which will be closed at the end of the week.
If you've been down here, you've seen the banners going up on the light poles for the 32 NFL teams. You've seen our little electrical boxes, which over the years have tended to attract graffiti, have now been remade into the jerseys of many Detroit sports legends. The Detroit Police Department is going to have an enormous challenge. There will be 60 evolved weapons detectors all throughout downtown throughout the weekend.
The NFL Draft, as Alexis said, is free to attend, and it will be the largest, most inclusive sporting event in the history of the state of Michigan. We will welcome hundreds of thousands of visitors, which will help generate hundreds of millions of dollars in economic impact. Additionally, tens of millions of TV viewers will see the beauty of Detroit.
Again, the draft will be Thursday, April 25th through Saturday, April 27th. Now, the NFL will have new kickoff rules for 1 year on a trial basis. The rules were approved 29-3 today, with Green Bay, San Francisco, and Las Vegas voting against the measures. The building block of this approach, well, the kicker's going to be by himself now, and everybody's going to be shifted up toward the opposite end zone as you take a look on that graphic right there. And Sarah will be right back.
Rated the best hearing aids of 2023 by Forbes, the Audien Atom 2 series offers superior sound quality and functionality for a fraction of the price. For just $189 a pair, the Atom 2 features 4 different hearing modes for all types of hearing loss. It packs crystal clear sound, a nearly invisible design, and is even rechargeable.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids. They're so comfortable, I forget I'm wearing them. And the sound is amazing.
The Atom Pro 2 is our smallest hearing aid yet, featuring advanced background noise cancellation and is the world's first hearing aid with built-in UV cleaning that kills 99% of bacteria.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed without seeing a doctor or having a hearing test.
Join over 500,000 happy customers today and get the hearing you deserve.
Call 1-800-432-0531 or go to audionhearing.com to get your pair of Audien hearing aids starting at just $189.
I thought it was just a rash, but it had a bullseye ring around it. My doctor said it was a tick bite. Luckily, we caught it early.
Ticks found in tall grass around your home can spread Lyme disease and other illnesses, which can lead to chronic health issues. The CDC estimates nearly 500,000 people across the country are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year.
I didn't understand why my brother was having so many asthma flare-ups. Sometimes he couldn't breathe. Turns out a roach problem at home was triggering it.
Allergens left behind by dust mites, roaches, and rodents are a major driver of asthma attacks, especially in children.
When I had a fever, body aches, and fatigue, I never thought it would have been West Nile virus. All it took was a mosquito bite while gardening.
Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus and many other diseases, and they can breed in standing water around your home. Protect your family from pests. Get the facts at pestworld.org.
Well, we're expecting a flash freeze for the central and a few eastern locations, basically Marquette, all the way over to Schoolcraft County and all the way down to Menominee and Delta counties, even over to Dickinson. That could extend into your morning commute as well. We've got rain and snow on the way for the rest of the week. We could see some sunshine, though, on Friday. This weekend, though, looking a lot warmer. And yes, friends, we did break a record at the National Weather Service of 46 hundredths of an inch there of rainfall for today, quite a bit above what we normally see. And then taking a quick look at what we're expecting by tomorrow evening, or excuse me, by 7 a.m. on Thursday, close to 7.5 inches for Houghton. And then we've got, yeah, that's right, Easter is on the way on Sunday. We're looking at partly sunny skies here in Marquette with a high of about 44, and that seems to be the case across the UP. Don't forget Good Friday on Friday, mostly sunny.
Finally tonight, hikers and mountain bikers will soon see some updates to a unique trail system in Marquette County. Through a crowdfunding campaign, the Nakamenon Trail Network secured its $50,000 goal in just 5 days. The goal of the campaign was to get enough money to complete the 3-mile-long Raging River Trail system that rests next to the Carp River Canyon. The money will be matched by the MEDC's Public Spaces Community Places program, and the NTN expects the trail building to start in early May.
3 miles of new trail, which is a lot of new trail. We haven't had that much new trail in a while. We're excited to get it going. For fundraise, we can start building when the snow goes away and the freeze thaws over, and that's exciting as well.
The NTN is looking for volunteers, and we'll have information on social media and on our website, WZMQ19.com. We will see you back here tomorrow. Have a great night.
Sleep better with a new mattress from Kirkish Furniture. We proudly feature Made in the Midwest Restonic mattresses. Try one out today and compare other major brands. Let our sleep specialists help you find the bed of your dreams at Kirkish Furniture.
My name is Brett Watt, and I've been at Goodwill since supposedly 2011, but don't quote me on that.